conceive, believe, achieve. Shut the f*** up.
You're listening to Believe You Me with Michael the Count Bisping and Anthony Lionheart Smith.
So you're in Vegas, Anthony, right now for the grappling match tonight.
Yeah, my wife just got here. Yep.
Oh, nice.
She's over here looking all sophisticated, like set up at the back of the bed, reading a book.
Oh, Ellie does that. She comes downstairs in the morning, like, I'll get out of bed, I'll look out, and I think I'm all up early. And she's in the garden with a cup of, like, I don't know, green tea, reading a book with her legs crossed, listening to the squirrels and the crows in the morning. I think
I always kind of judge people like that a little bit. Not judge them.
What, for being good people?
Yeah, like right now, even like no, I would never judge you. What are you talking about?
No, never.
I always feel like when you see someone reading, like Rashad, like in a park on a bench, like, don't you got shit to do?
Don't you?
Who's got time to sit around and just read? Like,
Don't you want to go and drink some beers?
Well, like,
you know what I mean?
How free it must be to just have nothing to worry about and nothing to do. So you just have time to sit and read.
Oh, listen, don't get me started. Rebecca Bisping, she's a saint. Love her to bits. You know what I mean? And she's put up with me for many, many years. So that's like a life sentence. But you know what I mean? All she's going to do is get out of bed. Anyway, talking of judging people, Anthony, I saw this on the news yesterday and I was like, what in the world? What would you say to someone that was sitting there chowing down on did you see this on the news from Wendy's? The pretzel bacon pub triple. It has over 1,500 calories, 44 grams of saturated fat and 1,890 milligrams of salt, which I don't know anything about salt, but that sounds like a lot. Yeah. And I thought we could chat about our diets and whatnot, but 1,800 calories or something like that. Have you seen this thing?
No, I haven't. It's a lot.
Right. If you can click on that link and show it. I mean, it looks amazing. It looks delicious, but Jesus Christ.
You said it had a pretzel bun?
It has a pretzel bun.
I can't do the pretzel bun thing.
Multiple. Yeah, that seems very dry. Very dry.
I can't ever do pretzel buns.
If you do a fast food, I mean, look at that thing there.
Oh, wow.
I mean, when I was just in England.
Terrible.
It looks bloody good, if I'm honest. I mean, I was just in England, right? And obviously we had Josie, that's Callum's girlfriend, and Nick, that's Ellie's boyfriend. You know, we ate out a lot, and they were struck by the difference in portion sizes. You know what I mean? And, like, I'm all for it. I love it because, like, you know, obviously it's great to get a nice big breakfast. But when I started going back to England, you call down to room service or something. So can I get the omelette, please? They bring it up. They have the big, like, silver dome. They pull it off. And there's literally 3 eggs in the shape of an omelet.
Yeah.
Like, where's the hash browns? Where's all the good stuff?
Where's the rest of it? Did you eat it on your way here? Like when they're bringing it? When Michaela and I went to Paris, we, like same thing, like in Europe, they just have smaller portions. So I was ordering 2 of everything. And she was like, they probably think you're the just fattest American, like most typical American. Like, yeah, I'll take the steak, but I'll take 2 of those meals.
Yeah.
Like just the steak, like no, the sides, 2 sides too. I'll take all the sides.
What kind of diet do you follow in your everyday life, Anthony? Like, you know, obviously in fight camp, that's one thing, but like, do you follow a strict, or do you have a kind of diet that you follow? A regime, shall we say?
No, nothing too strict. My wife is pretty close to all keto for the most part. She started doing it initially to like, Michaela just gets real bad headaches. So doing keto really curbs a lot of her headaches, but so she doesn't eat a lot of carbs at all. But and I really don't either. I'm probably pretty close to the carnivore diet, I would say mostly. She tries to force some veggies on me and stuff, but like as a family, we don't eat out a whole lot, so we cook a lot at home. But it's not anything crazy strict, but it's fairly healthy. It's a portion of protein, and we force the kids to have to eat the veggies and the rice and all that stuff. But yeah, it's nothing that would be too hard to follow. It's fairly healthy, but I wouldn't say it's not strict.
No, we're all on like kind of a keto kick at the moment because we all came back from England and we've all put weight on. I mean, I look a bit better now. On Tuesday's show, I was, because like we've just got to look at reflections of ourselves, and I'm like, holy shit, look at the state of me. So I'm on a diet. Callum's on a diet. Beck's on a diet. You know,
what's your diet look like? Is it just?
But to be honest, yeah, I wouldn't say keto. Do you know what I mean? But it's based around the keto kind of diet. Minimize the carbs because you don't need them. I only try and eat twice a day. We try and do intermittent fasting. Most of the times, if I'm on a good one, I won't eat until 2:00 in the afternoon, and then I'll have a dinner and then go to bed. You know what I mean? And it's so much better for you. And if I'm fasting, I'm so much more locked in, so much more focused. Do you know what I mean? I don't get tired as much. And apparently, there's tons of health benefits like restricting cancerous cells from growing and things like that. So. Give it a try, bro. Get on the intermittent fasting vibe.
I would actually wouldn't have too hard of a time doing like a keto based diet. It's just the training and that time where your body's kind of switching over and starting to fuel itself with fat instead of carbohydrates. I just don't know if I have time to do that. I would just die in training camp. I would just kill me.
Dude, I remember because the worst one I did, I worked with this nutritionist and it was before there was a keto phase. It was essentially just a keto diet, as we all know what that is. But this is 2011, and I came over here fat, and I had a fight in a few months, and I was like 240, something like that. And it wasn't it wasn't a jacked up 240.
Yeah, you weren't flexing.
It was a massive beer belly, but yeah, trying to get through the training camp with no carbs whatsoever. Oh my God, it's just bloody horrible. It's horrible. What are you weighing for this match with Glover tonight?
I weighed in at 222. So we were supposed to be under 225.
Right.
And so I just was walking around about 222, 225-ish. But he didn't even get here until 8:30 last night. So we were supposed to be here on Monday. And I don't know if you've seen, but it was like 2,000 flights across the country were canceled the day before yesterday. So,
yeah, and then there was day before yesterday, but yeah, I think yesterday there was like 5,000 or 7,000. Apparently there's some crazy weather over on the East Coast, but I haven't seen news reports about it.
Yeah, he was trying to get here from Newark, so he couldn't even get out of Jacksonville out of Jacksonville because he was there cornering Wellington Turman, and apparently him and his wife tried to last night I ran into Glover's wife. I've thought this whole time
she talked about this.
That she hated me.
Yeah.
She got off the elevator when I was getting on last night. We had a lovely conversation. She couldn't have been sweeter. She was like the sweetest person. It made me feel so much better. For whatever reason, I've just always thought she hated me. And maybe I just always caught her when she was busy or whatever. But anyways, they tried to get back from Jacksonville, had to end up driving. So they got him to Charlotte. Then they had to drive like 10 hours from Charlotte home. Then he was on 5 missed flights. He was boarded on a flight the day before yesterday and couldn't get here. So long story short, we didn't actually have a weigh-in. So
yeah.
I don't know really? He's probably 230. He said he's 235. So it's no big deal.
That's a grappling match. It doesn't really matter. Do you feel any kind of pressure coming into this grappling match against Glover? I mean, obviously he's a very, very high level grappler. We all know that, one of his strong points of his game. But coming into this, how do you feel? Do you feel like you have because you are a professional fighter? I mean, I did a similar thing with Chael. I didn't feel any pressure then. So that's why I'm asking, because do you feel that if you were to lose, it would reflect badly on your fight career? Because I don't think it would. But do you feel that?
No, because everyone knows how high level Glover is and how good he is, how much he trains, and he's still training with all the guys.
Yeah.
So no, I don't feel any pressure at all. Normally the day of a fight or something, you wake up, right now I'd be, I don't know, a little bit of anxiety, a little weird. I'm actually like feeling very excited. Like I wish it would hurry up and get here. Like I'm really excited.
Because
it's gonna be a lot of fun.
Not, like going into a fight, your day of, the nerves are an incredible thing to handle. I don't need to tell you, I'm telling the people listening.
Especially first thing in the morning. Like when you first wake up, it takes you a little while to kind of shake them and get moving. Like, all right, we're okay. But first thing in the morning, right when you open your eyes, like, fuck.
Yeah. No. Well, I'll be watching. That's on Fight Pass, and that's tonight.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Ladies and
gentlemen. Starts at 6.
Well, by the time this comes out, it will have been done. It'll be over. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because we release at 9 p.m. California time. So what should we get into? We've got a bunch of good stuff here, but I think the big one is we kind of touched on this the other day, I think, about the Mexican Independence Day card. But Dana White came out yesterday and made it official. Alexei Grasso going up against Valentina Shevchenko and Kelvin Gastelum in the co-main event against Shavkat Rakhmonov. I got to say, you got to hand it to Kelvin Gastelum. You know what I mean? The balls on this man. I mean, I know we kind of had touched on this recently, but now it's official. What is Shavkat? Something like 16-0, all
17-0, I think so. Yeah.
17.
Yeah.
I mean, fair play to him.
Yeah. Like you said, the balls on Kelvin Gastellum. I mean, and this first fight back down at 170, which I think is probably the more interesting point for me, because he's always done well at 185. But, I think Shavkat looked more human in his last fight. He was kind of just wrecking people. And I think he fought Jeff Neal, I believe, in his last fight. I think that one was.
That's right.
So he looked.
And Jeff Neal gave him a good go. You know what I mean?
Did.
Yeah. Was it? It wasn't a stoppage. It was a decision, right? I think. Oh, no, it was a stoppage. In the third round. In the third round, it was a stoppage.
Was it?
I think so, because they're all stoppages on his record. I seem to remember. I mean, I do have Google right in front of me. I could look it up. If I had a Harrington that was here on time, that could assist in such matters, or a Jamie, pull that up, Jamie. If only we had something like that could fact check as we're talking and entertaining the believers. Oh,
look, there he is.
What's
third
up,
round?
How are you, buddy?
I'm great. Third round rear naked choke in the Jeff Neal fight.
Back away from the microphone. It's a little bit loud.
Well, either way, Jeff Neal did give him some problems. He pushed him and made him work hard, made him look a little more human than he's looked in every single one of his previous fights. So Kelvin is absolutely. I mean, Kelvin's the top of the food chain. As long as he can get on weight, do it in a healthy way, and he's 100% when he goes in there, I think Kelvin has all the tools in the world to give him a run.
I mean, the thing with Kelvin is, there's been some losses, but it's always the top guys that he's fighting. You know what I mean? That's how much he believes in himself. Going down to 170, I'm not sure if that's a good idea, man.
Why? I don't know why.
Well, because he struggled at 185 with the elite. He wants to be a champ.
Yeah, but sometimes that's not a size thing. It's just it's just a you thing. You know, I don't know that I've ever seen Kelvin in there and thought like, oh, he's a little small for this weight class. It's just, dude, those guys are good.
Those guys are very, very good, and they're just as good at welterweight.
But at 170, I guess I do see maybe a clearer path.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. But the pretzel burger. I mean, I'm not going to lie. I'm kind of tempted to try it. If you're eating fast food, what's your go-to? If you want to treat yourself and just have a little snacklet.
Oh, I'm a Taco Bell guy.
I think we had this conversation. You're disgusting. That's disgusting, man.
Why is that disgusting?
Because it's just slop. Do you know what I mean?
No one said it was good.
You can get plenty of tacos and quesadillas and burritos. Anyway, get good ones. You know what I mean? There's taco stands everywhere. Why are you going to go to this
Chick-fil-A
massive corporation? Oh, Chick-fil-A is good, though.
Yeah, it's either Taco Bell or Chick-fil-A.
I do like a bit of Chick-fil-A. Do you know what we had Sunday night? We haven't had it for ages. Not Sunday night, Monday night when we got back from traveling. And by the way, thanks everyone for sticking with us. Monday, I was out of it. I was not in a good place. I couldn't string a sentence together. I wasn't looking good. I wasn't feeling good. I was absolutely exhausted, but we're on form today. But we get back. It's past midnight. I'm starving, right? Mm-hmm. The only thing we could get on DoorDash, McDonald's. I hadn't had McDonald's in ages. We ordered 10 bacon double cheeseburgers and a bunch of fries. I'm not going to lie. I devoured 2 of those bad boys. It was bloody delicious. Hit the spot big time.
McDonald's cheeseburger is never a bad thing.
Yeah, well, no, that's it. I mean, McDonald's is awful, right? It's terrible for you.
Wasn't there like a guy that like survived for like a whole year on nothing but McDonald's or something and like lost a shit ton of weight?
It was a documentary called Super Size Me.
Yeah, no. He didn't lose weight. He got fat as hell. You guys both come Super Size Me. He got fat as hell.
Yeah, his like health metrics went to like they were awful. He was like ready to die.
Well, there's something about a food that like doesn't like you see those things where they put the cheeseburgers like in a case.
5 years.
5 years. It looks exactly the same. The cheese doesn't mold. Yeah, it can't be great for you.
Yeah. No. Not good at all.
I always find it fascinating how like sorry to cut you off.
No, you're good, man.
How some foods will do like really like cheeseburgers and like how do you digest something that just sits in a case for 5 years? That's weird. Or like energy drinks. We knew someone one time that had a case of liquid ice. It was like a cheaper brand energy drink, kind of tastes like Red Bull. And their case, they had a whole pallet of it in their garage. And the bottom cases had like broken open and leaked, and they didn't know it. And when they moved the pallet, the energy drink had eaten the concrete on the garage floor. Like, we drink that shit?
Exactly,
That's
man.
insane.
Exactly. I mean, we try and keep it all natural, but listen.
Yeah, me
man,
too.
You know, yeah, exactly. He's drinking the Monster. Let's go.
Mm-hmm.
Did you see someone died, I think, or had a heart attack from drinking Prime recently as well? Because they were just drinking so much of it. You know what I mean? The kids love that Prime stuff. It's a bit too sweet for me, but they absolutely bloody love it.
I think it's a social thing.
How do you mean?
Like the Prime drink thing. It's anytime we're in a store and my oldest sees a Prime drink, it's like the cool thing at school to like have a Prime.
Yeah, wow.
It's weird.
It's not cool to me, bro. International Fight Week next week. I'm excited for this. Obviously, it's often the biggest, what's it called? One of the biggest events of the year for mixed martial arts. You know what I mean? The first one was 2009. Who was that? Brock Lesnar versus Frank Mir.
Yep.
Yeah, George St. Pierre, Thiago Alves. I was on there. I got knocked out cold against Dan Henderson. And every year they started doing that because I think the reality was around the 4th of July, I think the history is not a lot of people were going to Vegas because obviously it's bloody boiling. So the city of Las Vegas wanted to like kind of get the UFC to commit to putting big shows on. Then they started doing the expos and all the rest of it. And now, you know, there's concerts, there's signings, there's expos, there's fights. Sometimes there was a few years ago, they had 3 fight nights on a Thursday, Friday, and the Saturday. So
yeah, I fought on one of those.
Oh, did you really?
Yeah,
which one?
I fought on the Friday night card.
Right. Oh, yeah, the fight. Who did you fight?
Cesar Ferreira. Yeah.
How did it go? I can't remember.
I lost a decision.
Oh, you did? Oh, shit. Sorry, I shouldn't have asked.
No. It was a long time ago.
When was that? UFC 200, right? I think that was. So what year are we talking now?
Yeah, it would have been. You remember what year I fought?
2016.
2016. There we go. You know, I think like the economical impact on the city is something crazy, like $200 million in tourist revenue is brought to the city. There's something like 200,000 hotel rooms all booked up for the week. It's insane, man. Absolutely insane.
That's crazy.
But you're not going to be there doing nothing, no signings,
No, I'm actually kind of excited just to hang out for the week. At home and just watch the fights from the house. No.
I'll be bloody
working. Do that often.
No, you don't, and I don't either. All right, guys, Manscaped, you know the one. You know, they trim the crown jewels, they trim the Franken beans without cutting you. Well, did you know they also take care of your face as well? They have the Beard Hedger Pro Kit. They are always creating the best tools for men, for men's grooming, and the best tools to turn heads with a clean, perfectly groomed and conditioned beard. Listen, the kit is about to change your life. The Beard Hedger Pro Kit has made it easier than ever to create and craft your signature look. It all starts with the Beard Hedger, the juggernaut of fixing faces. It's waterproof. It's got a cordless trimmer. It has a rotary wheel that gives you 20 different lengths, so not a messy drawer full of add-ons. The trimmer has a titanium-coated T-blade that is tough on hair but smooth on your face. And the Pro Kit is much more than a trimmer, though. It comes with 4 dermatologist-tested formulations for your post-trim care. It has the beard shampoo and conditioner because all hair is different. That's why the kit has shampoo and conditioner specially designed to moisturize, reduce ingrown hairs, and replenish your natural oils. Next, the kit has Manscaped Beard Oil. The nutrient-infused oil relieves dryness both on the beard and on the skin beneath, whilst adding a little shimmer and a shine to liven up the look. And then you cap it off with a beard balm, a pomade that shapes, styles, and moisturizes, bringing amazing fresh scents of eucalyptus, rosemary, and lavender essential oils. And of course, the Pro Beard Kit comes with 3 free gifts. You get a beard brush, you get the comb, and you get scissors to ensure that you're always looking ready to impress. So right now, go to manscaped.com. Use the code Bisping20. You're going to get 20% off and free shipping when you go to manscaped.com. Use the code Bisping20, the Manscaped Beard Pro Hedger Kit, the premier solution to face groups. So you're fighting, I mean, in Singapore. We've had some other bookings. We've got Aaron Blanchfield versus Talia Santos. What's the main event in Singapore? What did we say that was? It's
Max Holloway, Korean Zombie.
And then they just added Rose Namajunas versus Manon Fiorot at Paris the week after.
Oh, yeah, that's a great one.
Rose Namajunas going up to 125 from strawweight. What do you think about that? I don't know if that's necessarily required, should I say?
Yeah, I don't think it's necessary. She's good enough to be champion on any day. I was surprising that she's moving up, and maybe she has been struggling with her weight cuts, and we just haven't heard about it or known. I seen someone in the division talking about how they were coming down to 115, and then Rose was going up, so it was like they wanted that fight. It's Tatiana Suarez, yeah. So so that was kind of funny, because that was always a fight that I always thought was really interesting to watch. Like Tatiana versus Rose would have been a cool fight to watch, but yeah, I think that she does fine at 125. I mean, she's one of the elite, So I guess I always want to know the reason. So I'm kind of curious what the reason is.
Well, yeah, I mean, you got to think. I mean, that last fight against Carla Esparza, I'm a fan of Rose Namajunas. I love the way she fights. I really do. And I think on her night when she's on form, she's one of the best in the world. She's so technical. But it was one of the worst fights ever, and we had Cheetah on the other day. And when he fought Corey Sandhagen, he didn't show up until the later rounds, so to speak, shall we say. And I just think it's interesting, isn't it? Because people sit here and we sit here and criticize and critique and all the rest of it. But even the best fighters at the top of the food chain that have been champions have those nights where you just can't put it together. You can't pull the trigger. The anxiety takes over, the nerves, the pressure. I mean, Rose Namajunas, she's a killer. Against Esparza, didn't show up. Same with Cheeto, never really showed. And there's probably so many other examples.
I just don't feel like that. It wasn't like it was I guess that's what I was getting at. Like, it was one of the worst fights ever. But it's not like the actual. It's like you can use fight very loosely. In this scenario, there wasn't much of a fight. So like, what part of that performance made you feel like you needed to go up a weight class? That's what I don't get, but whatever. I mean,
well, that's why I kind of brought it up, because it's interesting. I mean, hey, listen, I'm sure she could compete. It's only 10 pounds.
For sure.
185 to 205. That's the biggest jump in all of it. I mean, I guess 205 to 265, but you don't have to be 265. That's a 60-pound weight jump. But in terms of dropping down, 205 to 185, that's a big one. 10 pounds. I mean, I guess in boxing terms, that's massive, but it's not that much at the end of the day.
I think that there's probably more interesting fights for her at 125 if she can get herself into a title mix. I think her and Alexa Grasso and Shevchenko and there's some interesting matchups up there for her. Yeah.
Well, we'll see how she does against Manon Fiorot. That is not an easy fight. That's not an easy person to make a debut against. Manon Fiorot, if you don't know her, where do you see it? She's ferocious, man. She's unbelievable. She really is. And the kickboxing that she has matched up against Rose, because she's an excellent kickboxer. I mean, that should be a sensational matchup, but not an easy one to make your debut at. And certainly in Paris, her home country.
Yeah, that's a tough fight to kind of test yourself at a different weight class. That's for sure.
Yeah. So I put this one in the notes yesterday. I saw this video on Instagram, and it's a man convicted of murder. Okay. And obviously he had to go into court before he receives the death sentence, and he decides, because obviously he's going to get put down, essentially. You know what I mean?
Put down.
Well, he is. He's a murderer. Yeah. Okay. What do you want? He's going to be executed. He's going to be taken from the planet. And he decides to give his attorney a little dig, cracks him in the face with a little elbow.
That guy just looks like people.
He looks like a piece of shit.
Oh.
I mean,
up here, it looked like he threw like a little rabbit elbow.
I mean, to be fair, if you're going to get sentenced to death, there's nothing more they can do to you. I mean,
why not? Why not?
They could beat the shit out of you when you got backstage. They could lock you in solitary confinement until the day, where they pull the trigger, so to speak. And I know they don't shoot people in the head.
I think death row is kind of like that anyways, though.
Yeah.
Pretty solitary confinement anyways. I just don't see any reason not. We might as well.
Just a little bit of follow up with that guy. He was charged for the murder of an 11-year-old girl and her babysitter. So he is a monster. Glad he's gone. He apparently had the word killer etched onto his teeth while he was there at the sentencing. And when asked by the judge, the lawyer said, "Nah, I used to be a boxer. I've taken way worse hits than that. This guy don't hit like shit."
Yeah, well, no, I mean, it was a pathetic punch. But so he's going around with killer etched into his teeth. He's murdering girls and the babysitter. Oh, my God, fuck that guy.
Yeah, fuck that guy.
Do you know, it's almost too easy, someone like that, to, give him the death sentence. I'd like to see them suffer.
I was going to say something like that. I'm glad you said it because I was like, well, people already think I'm crazy on here. So
I think we're sick.
Yeah, like there's way worse things that should happen to people like that.
I mean, he's going to be kept by himself. Then he's going to get a lethal injection. He's going to go to sleep.
Gets fed.
Pretty quickly.
Gets a nice bed.
He's going to get fed. He's going to have a fancy last meal.
Mm-hmm.
Have you seen Law Abiding Citizen?
Yeah, I love that movie. I do love that movie.
That's a good one. That's a good one. What would you get for your last meal? No, go on, Harrington. Go on. No, but
this incident happened in 1990. It is now 2023.
Yeah, I mean, that is an issue. It does take a long time. So what's that? That's 33 years. I mean, did they have DNA evidence in the 90s?
So they just now caught him for something.
No, I don't think they just caught him. I think he's Harrington. Has he been in the prison since 1990? Was he caught in 1990? Or has he just been fucking ignored like we are being right now?
I would imagine that appeals processes take a long time for death penalty cases.
Not until 2016 was he caught for the murder in 1990.
Well, F that guy. Burn him, kill him, torture him, give him to the family, sell tickets to it. That's what they used to do back in the day.
Yeah.
So no, it's true. It's true. So we were
Hurry up, kids, eat your dinner. We got to go to the show.
We were in Lancaster. Rebecca loves like old castles and stuff like that, medieval and torture and whatnot. So there's a town called Lancaster near where I'm from, and they got a big castle there. And it's known as Hanging Town because that's where they used to just hang so many people. And we had not a private tour. We had a tour of the castle with a historian. She was walking us around. And I don't know if I believe this, but this is what the historian told us when we're having a tour, because the hangings were such a local spectacle. Right? So everyone would come out, they would celebrate, they would all get hammered, they would drink loads. And then after that, they would all go off into the town and carry on celebrating and carrying on with the festivities because they've just seen somebody like a woman accused of witchcraft get hung to the death. But then the next day, they'd all feel like shit. And she said that's where the phrase hangover comes from.
Oh, I guess that makes sense.
But I don't believe her. I don't believe her. I don't know.
Shit.
She might be full of shit. Just fact check that one, boys. But
that's clever, though.
I like it. I like it. I'd like to think that. Yeah. So we were there and they were taking us on a tour of like the castle and stuff. And there was a big thing by us in Clitheroe. They're called the Pendle Witches. So there was all the witch trials there and stuff. You know how they used to test if you were a witch back in the day, Anthony? Do you know this? Well, they would take her, they would dunk her in a river. If she died, she wasn't a witch. If she survives, she's a witch. Oh, there you go. Dunk her in a river, Harrington.
Does it have
what's going on?
Does it have to be a river? What about a bathtub?
We could use the toilet after you've taken a dump. There's a preferable. I'm sorry, that's really disrespectful.
Nothing.
Talking about people dying and stuff like that, there was a big scare in Bellator last week. You might have seen these videos. And where is it here? Bellator fighter Chris Lencioni is responding to stimuli after having a heart attack during training, which sadly led to brain injury. His wife posted a video updating his progress. I saw this video yesterday, and this is bloody heartbreaking. Brian, if you could just play it, please. He's responding ever so slightly.
Oh, man.
Were you aware of this guy? I'd like to say I was, but I wasn't. Sadly.
No, I wasn't.
He's only a young man. Bloody hell. It's awful, isn't it? Why do you think he had a heart attack? I mean, we don't know his medical history, but...
Yeah, I don't know.
Chris Lencioni, if that's how you say his name, I wish him all the best.
Yeah, that's so sad.
Harrington, tell us about... are you a Superman, Anthony? Because Harrington put this one in the notes. Henry Cavill has not been replaced, Harrington, He has not been replaced. He retired, I think, as Superman. David Vorenswet is now taking on the role. Cavill is free from any franchise restrictions and open to step into the role of James Bond. I feel like this isn't your wheelhouse at all, Anthony.
It's not my wheelhouse at all, Michael. It's not my wheelhouse at all.
Do you like a bit of Superman?
Yeah, I like superhero movies. Yeah.
What's your favorite superhero movie?
I'm more of a Batman guy.
Yeah, Batman's cool.
I love The Dark Knight. It's a great movie.
Dark Knight's one of the best. I remember watching that in the movies and just being like, this is amazing. I was gripped the whole time.
The Dark Knight Rises was pretty good too.
Yeah.
One after that.
And then what's the third
I'm a big fan of bad guys. So Bane is a really good bad guy character.
Sure. Bane was awesome. Yeah, but Harrington, why would you put that in the notes and not even jump on and care to add a little, a little light-hearted entertainment on it? You put it in. That was yours, not me.
So, I mean, it's big news. I mean, that's America's superhero right there. I mean, Superman does stand for truth, justice, and the American way. So, replacing him is always big news to red-blooded Americans like myself. But I think
I'm not American.
News,
no, you're not, Anthony. You're not. If you don't like Superman,
I'm America as fuck. I should be.
I'd say you're more American than Superman.
I would think so.
All right, you disagree with him, Harrington?
No, I feel like honestly, in 2023, Superman should have like Lionheart Smith tattoos. At the very least, should have your level of tattoos.
Oh God, could you imagine that? We've got one, but the new one comes out. He's not going to resemble Superman at all.
You can't tattoo Superman.
Yeah, Clark Kent running around with love and hate on his thing. He's got the big bloody like those stretchy things in the ears.
like a rose on his neck.
Yeah, or he's a woman. Do you know what I mean? But still, we can be anything we want to in this day and age.
They tried that in the Flash, actually. The other,
give him tattoos.
No, it was a female Superman. They go to get Superman, and it turns out it's a girl. The other side of it, though, I saw.
Harrington?
Yeah, what's
wrong with that? Kara Zor-El.
That's not
women
the
can be
inflection I heard in your voice.
Bad, strong.
Women can be superheroes, Harrington.
Women can knock out skinny 100-pound women can knock out 300-pound guys with one punch. You know,
right.
If you watch the CW, that's what happened.
As long as they're Kryptonian. The other side of that I did find very interesting, though, is with Cavill being done now with the DCEU and not having any of these franchise obligations, one of the producers from Casino Royale came out and said Henry Cavill gave the best audition for James Bond of anybody not named Daniel Craig, and he would be excellent for the role. And I saw you, Michael, even endorsed him to be the next James Bond.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's a big deal if I endorse him. Yes, Bri?
Right.
Just a note there, Henry Cavill signed on with Games Workshop to do Warhammer stuff.
What the fuck does that mean? I got to fix it. There we go. I was like feeling so whitewashed, and there we go. I fixed it.
I mean, what does that mean? I don't know. It's nerd talk, I think.
Warhammer's like a nerd culture thing, and Henry Cavill's.
Listen, I like nerds. I just don't always understand them. They just need them to explain stuff.
It's like a tabletop game where you paint little miniatures and run around a table. And Henry Cavill's a big fan, and Games Workshop heard him talking about that, so they asked him to executive produce all their stuff that they're putting out.
Oh, nice, nice. Well, good.
That's way deep. That's way deeper into my nerddom than.
Are you a fan of the James Bond franchises?
No, not really.
Yeah, there's some good movies, man. There's some good movies. But the thing is, James Bond died in the last film.
Oh, no.
He died.
So how do you keep that going then?
No, I don't know. They killed him and he got blown to bits. And then I thought they were setting up for a female 007, just like they have done with Indiana Jones. In Indiana Jones, because Harrison Ford is about fucking 90 years old or something.
Yeah, he's old.
I mean, he's always been old.
As long as I can remember Harrison Ford, he's been an old man.
Yeah. I mean, he was old in the Crystal Skull. When was that? Years and years and years ago. So in the new one now, they've got Phoebe Wallaby, and she's taking over. So Indiana Jones going forward now will also be
that was
a
my
woman.
last name.
Wallaby?
Wallaby.
Anthony Wallaby Smith.
Yeah.
All right, so we actually have a conversation about something interesting. Conor McGregor may be getting a bit testy on the Ultimate Fighter after 5 losses. There's a little video here, Brian, if you want to do the honors, please, and just play that.
Give them 3 rounds, lads. We want 3 rounders here, judges, yeah? There's 2 rounds. 5 rounds for a world title. You ever had one of those world titles, Michael? You ever had a 5-rounder?
Yep. Lots of them. Yep. All right, we won both. We don't need 3 rounds. We win both. Every time. Winner.
Give them 3 rounds, lads.
I mean, what do you think? Listen, I've done it. I've coached it twice. It is annoying when your team's losing. You know what I mean? You do take it personal because it's like, because that's your rival, right? Mm-hmm. And him and Chandler are supposed to fight. Whether or not that comes to fruition, that's a whole nother conversation. I hope it does. But he's not in the testing pool yet, and he's had some distractions, shall we say? Miami Heat. McGregor's feeling the heat. Yeah, I mean, that's the format, 2 rounds. You can't bitch about it. If he'd have won after 2 rounds, he wouldn't have had anything to say then.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like typical when it's been the format the whole time.
It's always been that format, yeah.
The history of the whole history of the show, that's been the format. When it's not working out for you, leave it to Conor to want to change it to benefit him. You have to fight within the rule set you fight in. Guys in other in the PFL, the guys don't end the fight and say, well, if I had elbows, I would have won. Well, that's not how it goes. That's not the rules. Yeah. You have to fight under the rule set in the format that you're under, and it doesn't always benefit you.
Right. Yeah. No. I mean,
he's getting angry, and I get it. He's lost 5 in a row. He doesn't lose well. Conor's not a great loser.
Well, we got to be. What is it? Gracious in victory. No, gracious. What was it? Gracious in victory and humble in defeat, or was it the other way around? That's what he said. But anyway,
hard to do.
Yeah, no, they are hard to do. They're hard to do. Will you be gracious when you choke out unconscious Glover Teixeira in front of his lady?
Of course.
Yeah. What do you think you'll get him with? What's the plan? What's the plan, Anthony? I
think I'll take his back.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, I think I'll take his back and choke him. I think that I don't know. I think that's my game anyways. More of a back take guy. But I don't think there's any secret. He's more of a slower, methodical kind of control guy. I think I'm just faster and more mobile. I think I'll get to his back.
All right, let's take a quick second to thank our newest sponsor, Manta Sleep. Listen, sleep is so important. High-level athletes, they know quality sleep is the foundation for everything good that happens in life. If you don't have a good night's sleep, you're groggy, you feel crap, you're unproductive, you're bad-tempered, you're tired, you can't be bothered, you just want to go back to sleep. Driven by that belief, Manta is on a mission to give light sleepers control and mastery over their sleep. With Manta Sleep, you can maximize the enjoyment of life and unlock your full potential. Now, the masks are 100% blackout for deeper sleep, so pure darkness, like the soul of my wife, made of soft, breathable, and durable material, so don't worry about it falling apart, stretching out, not fitting well, and losing comfort. They've also got a variety of styles. They've got this new sound mask. It has razor-thin Bluetooth headphones with a 20-hour battery life, and as always, Manta features a 60-day risk-free trial and free shipping in the USA. So give them a try. If they're not for you, 60 days, you'll get your money back. So go to the website, mantasleep.com, see their full selection of sleep accessories. They've got body pillows, weighted blankets, sleep machines, everything that a light sleeper needs. So go to Manta Sleep one more time. Use the promo code Bisping to get 10% off for the perfect gift for yourself or the light sleeper that everybody knows. Manta, sleep better, anywhere, anytime. All right, let's talk about this fight card this weekend because Sean Strickland's back in action. 5 rounds against Abus.
Did you see his media day?
Oh, I did. Can we play that?
Oh, yeah. I mean, it was 20 minutes of debauchery. I couldn't believe it. The shit he gets away with saying is amazing. I don't know how he
wild.
Does it.
Some of the stuff that he said. I mean, he was
would
talking
get crucified if we said that.
Can you remember when he was talking about
send the women back to the kitchen, get them out of the workforce? That's what he said, and people just think it's hilarious.
Do we have the video? Yeah, here we go.
Taking women out of the workforce, and maybe that's where we fucked up, you guys. We let women vote. No offense, but let me no. I want to tell you guys something. Think about America prior to women voting. They try to ban alcohol. I don't even drink, but I'm not trying to ban alcohol. So what you did, man, you let these women come in the workforce. Now we make less money. You got kids raising themselves on fucking TikTok. We need to go back to like 1942, especially after, maybe 1958 after he fucked up the Germans. We need to put women back in the kitchen. We need to take only one man needs to be working. So I think as a collective man group, we need to elect somebody that's going to put women back in the kitchen, put one man working, raise the wages, and build a fucking wall.
Have you ever thought about going to therapy, Sean?
For what?
Yeah, I thought that was a great response from Oscar from the Mac Life. You know what? Look, listen, you said we'd get crucified if we said that stuff or whatever, but we shouldn't. Everyone's entitled to their opinion. Sean's out of his mind. He's got some radical beliefs there, right? But if that's if he wants to be a sexist pig, then let him be a sexist pig. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And I will say this. I think he's misconstruing and getting confused. He's talking about before, it's got nothing to do with the fact that women work or that women vote, but I do understand his point because the world these days has gone soft. The world is soft.
That's always his problem. His point is usually valid. His explanation of it is where he loses everybody in the crazy.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it's got nothing to do with women voting. It's just the world that generally has gone soft,
right?
And baby and pussified and wrapped up in cotton wool, and everyone gets a medal. And you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. There's no being great, being dominant isn't kind of rewarded these days. You know what I mean? That's like, no, everyone's fantastic and everyone's great. And I think that's his point. It's got nothing to do with women voting and women working. You know what I mean? But
I think he throws that shit in for a little bit of wow factor.
That's exactly.
I think he likes to shock and awe.
Yeah, because he knows that's the response he's going to get. And to be honest with some of the things that he said, that's not even some of the worst. One of the worst things that I thought he said, was, what was that lady that died, the young MMA aspiring fighter?
They talked about that during the press conference again. And he doubled down on it.
I thought that was pretty bad, to be honest, when he talked about her and he said, oh, you people, you're just doing it for likes on an Instagram video, which is for likes. He said, oh, by the way, she wasn't very good. She had a losing record. It's like, dude, you don't need to say those things. But anyway, that aside.
Yeah, and then he went down on, he went hard on Dewey Cooper.
Oh, I saw that.
Which I thought was a little bit unnecessary.
Well, he was talking about Marvin Vittori.
About Marvin,
yeah, and that's kind of his boy. They trained together.
And he kind of shit on Marvin too.
he said Marvin's the dumbest fighter ever, and ever since he's been with Dewey Cooper, he's getting worse. He's going backwards.
He said he's on the short bus. I was like, wow.
What's the short bus? I don't get the reference.
Short bus is like a. I'm trying to think of a great.
It's where you put the special ed kids.
It's where you put the special kids.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I didn't know that phrase.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it makes it worse now that you know it.
Strickland's a bit on the short bus as well. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah. Anyway, he's fighting this weekend.
He took shots at everybody.
Yeah. Yeah. He's fighting Abus Magomedov, who's in the main event. He's only had one win, but in the UFC, pardon me, only one win. It was over Dustin Stoltzfus in Paris last year. Took him out of there in something like, I don't know what it was, 20-odd seconds. Right. He's a Dagestani fighting out of Paris, France, I believe, and he's fantastic. He's very, very good. Just looking at his record now, he's bringing it up 25-4-1. Mm-hmm. Took Dustin Stoltzfus out in 19 seconds. And he says, listen, if Sean Strickland wants to grapple, I can do that all day long. Spoke to him yesterday. He said, on the feet, I'm more powerful, I'm more explosive. He's coming into this one very, very confident. I'm commentating the fight, so I can't give a pick. But how do you see this one going down?
You gotta kind of be special, I think, to get a win over Sean Strickland. I really believe that. Everything crazy shit is aside that he says, he is a really, really difficult puzzle to solve. Look, we've seen what Cannonier just did to Vettori. And I still think that Strickland won that fight versus Cannonier. It was that, even if he didn't, it was very, very close. So I don't think that Abus is more powerful and explosive than Jared fucking Cannonier. So, Sean's dealt with power. He can deal with explosiveness. He can deal with speed. And from everyone that's ever talked about it, yourself included, Sean's a great grappler.
Yeah.
And
well,
just not a great wrestler. Yeah, not a great wrestler. Really good jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I lean Strickland, especially the experience, high level, main event. He deals with pressure very well. He seems to have ice in his veins.
I mean, we'll see, because if he can get through Sean Strickland, then of course he's in the top tier straight away.
Yeah,
I'm not sure what Strickland is ranked, but he's in the top 10, probably like 5 or 6.
I think he's 7.
Seven. You know, so it's a big one for him. And for Sean, he was saying a while ago, I want a title fight if I beat this guy. I don't think that's going to happen, but it'll just be another big win for him, another main event, another spotlight on him. You know, every time in the main event, you're going to make the most of it. And I tell you, and he does, to be fair. Listen, call him controversial, call him whatever you want, but we're talking about him today, and there's a lot of people out there that will resonate with him, that will see themselves in Sean Strickland. Not saying that everyone's, you know, out of the mind, psychopathic, sexist, misogynistic pigs like he is, but he's funny. He knows what he's doing. He's causing controversy. He's not the smartest guy. Cal, what's that face for? No, I just saw Callum making a weird face. I thought he was listening to what I was saying. Never mind, son. Never mind. Who do you think wins, though? You think Strickland gets
I think Strickland. Yeah, I think Strickland. I think he's hard to get to. He's hard to take down.
His style on the feet is weird. It's not like, you know, for a guy that, you know, knocking out his sparring partners, and he was fighting 2 people at once the other day. We didn't talk about this on Tuesday, did we?
No.
Yeah, there's a video of him sparring 2 people at once. Have you ever done that? Because our boxing coach used to get us to do that back in the day. Yeah. Because it's an overload of attacks.
Excuse me. Yeah, it's the first time it's very overwhelming, but yeah, we've done it a few times, and it's a big pain in the ass.
It's fun, though. It's fun.
It is. Especially if you're one of the 2.
Well, because when you train, well, yeah, definitely, if you're one of the 2, but you got to be a good training partner. You can't be that asshole that's trying to tee off and knock you out, especially when you're fighting 2 people. But things like that keep it fun and keep it fresh. You know what I mean? Here's a little bit of the footage. Chris Curtis. Yeah, look, they're just pressuring. They're not trying to knock him out.
Right.
But again, Sean loves this, that we're talking about this. Yeah, I spot 2 people at once. Yeah, I knock people out. I
don't mind him, like, when we run into each other. It's the shocking, you know, the random crazy shit that he says, but he's always been fairly normal in person with me. It's always been pretty respectful, very, very kind, enjoyable to talk to. And then he goes in the media and just loses his mind.
Yeah, but and anyone that gets offended by that stuff, you just got to take it over with a pinch of salt. They're only words.
That's what he wants.
Well, number one, that is what he wants. But so what? So what if he says something that you don't like? Just don't listen. Don't be a fan. Root for the other guy to beat the crap out of him. I think the more characters that we have in mixed martial arts, in sports, in the world in general, I think it makes it a more interesting place. If everyone has the same opinion, if everyone's censored, if everyone's being told to toe the line all the time, how boring would that be?
Yeah, it's not very much fun. It's not very much fun.
I wonder this weekend if he gets the win, and I'll go in the cage and I'll interview him. I remember it was last year or a couple of years ago. It was around Independence Day time, and he's dropping the old 1776 on me. Hey, Mike, 1776, let's go, USA. I'm like, all right, fucking hell, get over.
Like you 2 were there.
Yeah, I know. Like you personally beat me. Do you know what I mean? No one in England gives a shit. No. In fact, I was testing this recently. A lot of people in England don't even know anything about it. You know what I mean? I guess you don't commemorate the wars that you lost. Do you know what I mean?
You don't celebrate the ones you lost.
you forget about those ones. Independence Day coming up though this weekend. You got any plans for next week, Anthony?
I'm just gonna lay by a pool, Mike. I have nice. Well, that's a lie. I throw a big block party every year for my whole neighborhood. We all get together and everyone pitches in, and I go spend an astronomical amount of money on fireworks. And I throw the old Lionheart Classic, the old Lionheart neighborhood show. The whole neighborhood gathers for it. And
keep talking. I'm going to send something to Brian to play. Just keep talking a second.
Shit show. So we apply for a block party permit to like legally block the street on both ends so that no cars can come. It's like we get 12 hours to block the street. Everyone pitches in and people bring food and games and music and we hang out, and then we light fireworks at the end and piss off anyone that can hear. Hey, what's going on?
Yes. So how's it? Lionheart, how are you?
That's a
Very good, very good, Themba. Hold on 1 second. We just stay on and talk to us. We're just going to play something real quick. We were just talking about it's American Independence Day next week, and they love some fireworks, and Anthony loves fireworks. Brian, I just sent you a link, an Instagram link to the chat. Can you just play this? Because this is ridiculous. So this is the Anthony Smith block party.
Yeah.
They're lighting the fireworks.
Oh, it's going to go into the crowd. Oh, no.
Grab the baby. Watch.
Who did that? You got to put it in the shoe.
Oh, no.
Look at that.
Mike, you're going to have to send that to me, too, so I can send it to my wife.
Look at that. It's still going. My God.
Insane.
Anyway, we just have to get that in. Themba, thank you for joining us, brother. We've been talking about doing this for quite some time. How are you, man?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Thank you so much for having me on your show, man. It's a dream come true to just speak to Michael Bisping on the fight night. And look at me now, speaking to you again here on your interview. I'm blessed, man. Thank you so much, brother.
Not at all. So you've had 2 fights in the UFC. You took one on short notice. Your last fight, you got a knockout early in the fight. And then since then...
I ended up getting a decision, but I knocked down, yeah.
All right, so you got the knockdown. Have you been following his story, Anthony? Have you seen much about Themba?
Just recently, and I think that it needs to be talked about a little bit more, to be honest with you, because I felt like, I think it was like an MMA Junkie article, but it was kind of a short article, and at the end of it, I was like, well, now I want to know more, and there wasn't enough left in the story. So I'm glad that you're here.
Yeah.
So Themba, tell the people listening about your background, and give us your story, because it is so inspirational.
Yeah. So basically, like for me, obviously, like I come from Africa. I'm from Zimbabwe. It's probably one of the poorest countries in Africa. So growing up, basically, I grew up in the rural areas of Zimbabwe, that is Masvingo in Bikita. And like my parents passed on when I was very, very young. My father 13, my mother at 9. And, I had to grow up very fast. I'm the firstborn in my family, me and my young brother. And I had to do some things that I don't think I should have done at a young age, like going to the diamonds, smuggling diamonds. And, I think that alone, being at the diamond fields, is the reason why probably I fight, because I was like groomed from that young age that, you know what, if you want something, you have to go for it no matter what, and even if it's dangerous. And at 13 years, at 13, my father died. And when I was 16, I went to the diamond fields. And there, I would see people die in front of me. I've seen people getting shot in front of me. I almost died myself at the diamond fields. You see, if you see on my body, there's like dog marks. I've been bitten by dogs. Like 5 German shepherds were biting me, and lost blood, and I almost died. After that, and I think that was the turning point in my life personally, because from then I kind of was. I didn't have heart for anything else than to just try harder to achieve more things in life. Because I tell you what, I got beaten on a Saturday night by the dogs. But the next Friday, before the other dog marks were even healed, I was already back in the diamond fields, again. And people would think I was crazy. But, there was no choice. I had to go back there and try to get money so that I can feed myself and help out with my family too, my cousins and stuff like that. So I think that is where I developed the character of never giving up as a person. Then obviously I had to go to South Africa after that, illegally, without passport, without anything. And, I was deported on my first day. I got into South Africa. I got deported, and I got deported around 4 p.m. By 7 p.m. that same night, I was back again in South Africa. And the second time I succeeded. That's why I call myself the Cinderella man, because you know what? I always succeed with the second chances. That's who I am. I lived on the streets in Johannesburg, and I made contacts with my cousins in Cape Town. And you know a story about Cape Town. It's a little bit dangerous. I lost one of my cousins there. In Cape Town, and I had so many difficulties in Cape Town and lived there, and that's when I started MMA, and I found MMA through a movie called Never Back Down, and I joined the jiu-jitsu gym, started doing MMA. 3 months later, I had my first fight. And you know what's funny? I was looking at it now, like talking about this number 7 thing with the $7 that I had before the fight. My first fight, I won it with 7 seconds knockout. And it's crazy that, I'm thinking of it, and it's now comes back I'm like, this number 7 follows me everywhere, And man, long story short, then I became I turned professional, became the EFC welterweight champion, then went to fight in Abu Dhabi, failed at that. That was my first international fight when I went out of Africa. Then my second fight, I went to fight in New Orleans, Louisiana, and I succeeded at that. So again, the second chance, I always take off with it. And, like people don't know.
Oh.
No, man. He froze. He's got a fucking story, man.
What a fucking story. I'm like sitting up.
Here we go. We lost you for a second, Themba.
Yeah. So I wanted to explain this further, like people don't understand this. People asked why was I signed to the UFC on a 1-fight winning streak. So long story short, I want to tell people, I was on the UFC radar for a very long period of time, since 2019. And, they kept saying, okay, we're going to give him a chance. And then the COVID happened. And I've always shown UFC, Sean Shabi, and everybody that I wanted to be in the UFC and become a champion. I went as far as emailing them and showing them my tickets. I would buy tickets to go to Abu Dhabi. Like the fight I had in Abu Dhabi, I paid for my own flights. I paid for my cornerman's flights so that I can fight in front of Dana White, so that maybe I can get a chance to get in the UFC. And I fell short, right? And then the second one, again in New Orleans, from Africa, is so expensive. I paid for my own flights again for myself and my coach to go all the way to fight in New Orleans, Louisiana. And I fought there, won the fight. It was not the best of the performances, but, it was one step closer to where I wanted to be. And luckily enough, people must know that, Corey Sandhagen invited me to International Fight Week last year. And I'm going to this because now it holds a special place in my heart. When I went there, he invited me. He said, I got an extra ticket for you, Themba. Please come to Las Vegas if you can, and I'll give you accommodation too. So I got there, went to the after party with him. And then at the after party, that's when I checked out where it was at the Sanyas after party. Then he was
nice.
Win. Then I went to that win after party. That's when I met Sean Shabi. And Sean Shabi is like, you are Themba, right? And I'm like, yes. I didn't want to talk to him in person. I was a little bit scared. You make one miss, you'll never be in the UFC. And that's when I met Sean Shabi, spoke to him at that after party. He was a little bit drunk. I thought, this guy is talking dribble, probably. He said to me, listen, what happened in your last fight? I said, I won. Then I explained to him the whole situation. And he knew about me already, from 2019. Then he said to me, can you fight next month, Themba? Then I said to him, Sean, I don't have to fight next month. I can fight next week. Then he said to me, no, screw the bullshit. Can you fight next month? I'll put you on Contender Series. Then I said, no problem. I'll do that. Then straight away, I booked a flight to leave Las Vegas that Sunday. I left Las Vegas to go prepare for the fight. Then, the visa didn't come through. Then eventually Sean decided to just sign me in the UFC. And, first time I fell short. Second time I won, and I believe that I'm going to be a champion. I just have to keep working hard, believe in myself. Like you did, Michael Bisping.
Hey, listen, I mean, Jesus, what a story.
I don't even know where to start.
Yeah, I mean, it's wild, man. People talk about having it tough. But Themba, I mean, it's insane. I want to go back a little bit, though. I just want to ask you, because it's the first time I've ever spoken to somebody that used to work in the diamond fields, and I hope this doesn't sound insulting. Have you seen the movie Blood Diamond?
Yeah, I've watched it.
Is that anything? Does it resemble anything like that? Are they kind of close?
Yeah, some of the stuff that happened in that Blood Diamond, like people at the diamonds, my friend, I tell you what, I think there's something to do with the mineral. It just creates that animal in human beings, like You know, like if you watch that movie and you see some type of characters people develop just by doing that stuff, that's exactly what happened when we were there. Like you become an animal. Luckily, I didn't do anything bad.
Yeah.
But like I was prepared.
Not bad. Maybe a little bad here.
Just a little bit.
No.
How did the
my life? That's probably why I'm here. But I'm like I was ready to defend myself. I was ready to fight for anything. If someone, you know, like there you have to. You're not only fighting the police because you're not fighting only the military, you know. You are also fighting the people that are digging the diamonds with you. Because some people are lazy, some people are scared to get into the diamond fields to go and get the diamonds, you know, because there's people getting shot, like I told you. There's the police, there's the dogs, you know. So some people wait for you to go in. When you come out with the diamond, then they want to rob you of it, you know. So you have to be prepared to fight for your life, you know. And sometimes, like I tell you, man, I've seen people die in front of me. I've seen many people die in front of me, being robbed, whether it's being shot. I've had bullets in my ear, you know, like many times. So like that thing that you see in the movie Blood Diamond, it's actually something to do. I think it's something to do with the mineral. It just develops, it makes people become animals. And yeah, like a lot of things that you see in that movie actually do happen, and they happened when we were at the diamond fields. If you ask anybody that went to the diamond fields in Zimbabwe.
Okay, so for I guess probably other people like me that don't quite understand the diamond fields and how it works, how does that? So you go in and you like, where do you go? You dig out these diamonds, and then where do you smuggle them to?
So like what happened is that, you know, it was 2007-8, the diamonds were discovered in Zimbabwe for the first time, you know. And that's like 100, where they were discovered, it's like 100 kilometers away from my village. Mm-hmm. And, you know, like people were scared to go there, spectacle about it in the beginning because no one knew. Like if I tell you what, in the beginning, the people that benefited from the diamonds were the people that went there in the beginning because people would get diamonds in a cup. Mm-hmm. In a cup, there were so many diamonds that people would put diamonds in a cup and exchange for bread, meal, things like that in the beginning because we didn't know the value. People didn't know the value of the diamonds until someone came in and said, "Hey, you are being stupid. These people are coming and taking everything from you guys for free. You guys must understand this one stone can change your whole life." And then that's when I went in also, you know, and like. The diamonds back in Zimbabwe, they were not like scarce like everywhere else, you know, like you can actually, there was one point myself, I was being chased by the dogs. I picked up a diamond. What is I was running from the dogs. I just saw it shining from far, picked up, throw it in my mouth and then continue running, you know.
Did you get away with the diamond?
Some deep, you know.
Did you get the diamond? Did you get to keep it?
Yeah, I got to keep it. You put it in your mouth, you run with it, you know, and you go and sell it.
How much did you get for that diamond?
Yeah, so like answering Anthony Smith, you know, like at the diamond fields, you sometimes, you know, you have to dig so deep if you want the pure one, and the not so pure, the rough one is like near to the surface because it's been exposed to the sun and stuff. But yeah, man, it just depends on areas. Also, like there's other diamonds that you find inside stones, like the granite stones. Mm-hmm. So you have to crush the stones in the middle of the granite stones. You can find very clear diamond there. But that one is a little bit hard. I never did that part because I was young. I had no enough energy and power and patience to do that. I had to dig and go underground, you know. That was for me.
So when you're digging for diamonds, the idea is that when you find them, you hand it to the people that you're working for, right? No, of course.
Yeah,
but how much?
Buyers.
How much would you? Oh, so you were just digging for yourself.
You dig for yourself. So you create syndicates. Syndicates is like, let's say 3 of us. We are then within us, there's a group leader. And we dig together as a syndicate. We wash our stones and we find the diamond that we find. Then we go sell it and we divide the money. You know, they were buyers. So that's how we used to do it. It was not like you work for somebody. It was more like, you go and dig, but it was illegal. Whatever we were doing was illegal because, you know, the natural resource of the country belongs to the government. So we were like,
so all the danger, all the potential, the shots, that was from other people trying to steal your diamonds when you found them.
Yeah. The danger was not just from the people that were digging as well, from the policemen and the people that killed the most people there were the policemen and the army, you know? The police,
crazy.
I mean, they killed a lot of people in the
How much would you get for one diamond?
The biggest I got was a 12-karat diamond. I got myself and my cousin. We kind of like shared 21,000 rands each, then $3,000 per person. So it was a lot of money. At 16, it was a lot of money.
Yeah,
it was crazy. A lot of money. But the other thing though is that the money wouldn't last long. For some reason, the money that I never did anything that I can go back and look and say, I did this with this diamond money, because I don't know, man, it's like a curse. The money is like cursed a little bit, because you would spend, that money would not even last a week. Back then, it would not last a week. No matter what you try to do, things would become so expensive, and it was easy come, easy go, right? You want to go in again and get more diamonds. So,
well, you want to enjoy yourself. You think, I've got a diamond, baby. Let's party. There's plenty more of them when we found that one. Let's go. We got the fucking diamonds.
I ate a lot of food and traveled a lot with it.
Let me ask you this.
Yeah.
The Rock. So $7. I mean, for people that don't know, he talks about it a lot. His production company is called $7 because he was broke and he was down to his last $7. And then you came out publicly talking about before your last fight, you only had $7 something in your bank account. The Rock saw this and was like, "Oh my God, this is unbelievable." Did you actually end up speaking with The Rock? Did he reach out to you?
Yeah. I speak to him. We chat on Twitter and stuff like that. And we are arranging a date where we're going to meet in person. Obviously, he is interested to meet me as well. And it's anyone's dream to meet The Rock, right? We are organizing on a date. He's a busy man, and whatever day that he will say, let's meet, I'll be there. So I do chat to The Rock, Dwayne Johnson. Yeah, I do chat to him, and it's crazy to think of it. Life. Like I told you in the cage that day, dreams do come true, because some things that are happening in my life, to be honest, brother, I don't know. I don't have control over these things. I just don't understand. Sometimes I don't know. I cry to just think of it, like to be where I am right now. Like people think. Let's say, like here, just being like, if I show you where I am right now, I stay here on this couch, I sleep here. And some people would look at that and be like, for me, I am like, I have made it in life. Like, no matter what comes in my life, bad or good, to just be here, to just be here in this country, I've already made in life, and I'm not settling for less. I want more, obviously. I want to get where I want to get. But it's just crazy that some of the things that are happening right now in my life, and I just put it to God, man.
That's what I was gonna. My question is kind of along those lines. When you were, I don't know, in just those, just terrible situations, and you're seeing people die, and you're digging for these diamonds, and it's like, what did successful look like? Like, what did success look like to you at the time? Like. Because I'm sure at the time you're like, we're going to dig these diamonds, we're going to do this, we're going to sell it, and then we're going to, you want to move on with life, and you want to continue to build and get better and do something better in life. Number one, I think it's crazy that like you went from that and just all the hardships to like twittering back and forth with The Rock is just insane. But what did you dream about then? Like maybe it wasn't MMA at the time.
Growing up, obviously, for me, I think I've always been different. It's kind of like funny when I say it, but I've always known that I was different. I was good in school, but I was going to school just because my parents said you should go to the school. And then when my parents passed on, my cousin continued with the same thing. It's like you should go to school, but I didn't want to go to school. Personally, I didn't want. I just thought this was not my path. And success, when I was at the diamond fields, the success looked like this. When you are in the village, the most successful people have got cattle. So if you buy more, the more cattle you buy, the more successful you are. And that's how we looked at success. If a family has got cattle, they are very successful. So that was the dream then, okay, cool. If I get certain amount of diamonds, I'm going to buy this cattle, I'm going to buy that cattle, then you are seen as a very successful person. And, with time, you just like, okay, cool. You move on from being successful. If you get a cattle, you are successful. Now you move to a city where you are like, okay, cool. If I buy a bicycle, I'm successful. You know, like those are the things that we look at.
I think it's an important lesson, Themba, for a lot of people to realize because and we were talking about this recently, Anthony. We were talking about, obviously when you lose a fight, you might feel sorry for yourself and all the rest of it. And there's always someone worse out there. Like my mum, I was talking to her last week and she told me this story because my mum got polio when she was very young. She was in hospital for 2 years. And I said, was that hard to deal with, Mum? Because you must have been so depressed. And she said, no. She said, because you know why? She said there was a young girl and she was paralyzed from the neck down. She had her entire body in plaster. They had to have a slit for a private area so she could use the bathroom. But that was that. And even though my mum was in hospital for 2 years and could never really walk, and now she can't walk at all, she's like, no, I never felt sorry for myself because there's always someone worse off. I mean, the fact that you've managed to stay so positive, to be here in America, I know you're now in Miami training. Is it the All-Stars?
No, I'm here by MMA Masters.
MMA Masters.
I love those guys.
Yeah.
I like those guys a lot.
Yeah.
Tell us about Colby Covington. Tell them what he's done for you.
Yeah, man, Colby, like, people see that guy differently. Like people think, what they see on TV and all that. Colby is actually a very, very nice guy. And when you meet Colby, you can understand him. I'm sure some of you have met him, and I feel like he should be like this more to the other people, in public and stuff like that. But obviously, he sells fights, what he represents when he is out there. But when you meet him in person, that guy is probably one of the nicest fighters I have met in person myself. Coming to think of it, like I even mentioned it at the press conference, I didn't have to mention it or say it. And even him, when he did that for me, like when he brought me food here, like I was so down when I was here preparing for the last fight. That anything for me like meant a lot, and he didn't bring me food all the time, but he brought me food here and there, and I appreciated that. And once he even organized for me to go and train with him outside of the gym to do conditioning and stuff like that, and he said to me, "I will sort out your Uber, don't worry about it." Like for me, I'm very grateful even for small things, because you know what, if I'm not grateful of those small things, nothing big will come, that's how I see it, because other people will be like, okay, cool. I'm training with him. Probably I'm helping him here and there. So he's entitled to give me this, I'm not like that. So I am very grateful of that guy. And, he's one waterweight. Personally, I would not even want to fight ever, no matter what the situation is, just based on what the person has done for me from his heart. He didn't need to, but he did for me, And, for me, that means a lot for me, and he is actually like, I hope Colby can go out there and show the world who really Colby is, behind all the camera, behind everything. He is actually a very nice guy. And everybody that comes to the gym, everybody that you meet that has met Colby, he's actually a very nice guy.
I've said that a couple times, that I think he would be more popular now that he had his, he's got his crazy stick and he's the crazy guy. And if he just flipped it and then turned on like the real Colby Covington, now he has enough people's attention that I think people would really like him. Because he said some things about me. We've gone back and forth a couple times. But every time we've been in behind the scenes when there's no cameras on, he's been nothing but kind. He's actually a really nice guy.
He's like Michael Bisping. He's like Michael Bisping. I'll be honest, man. Like, you think Michael Bisping is crazy, but this guy is a nice guy. When I met this guy, I was like, oh my God. I couldn't believe when I actually was talking to him inside the cage, because, you just finished winning a fight. You are on a high. And this guy's talking to me. I'm looking at him. I'm like, fuck, I'm in front of Michael Bisping, He is like most of these guys that are very successful, that go after things. They are very misunderstood, and you have to be crazy a little bit. And you have to do stuff.
For sure. Yeah. Tell us then, Themba, obviously coming from Zimbabwe, and then are you living here or just training here on and off and going back to Zimbabwe? But the question I was going to ask, obviously this must be a very, very different life than what the life is in Zimbabwe, right? Tell us about some of the differences which you've experienced.
So for me, I'm from Zimbabwe, but Zimbabwe is next to South Africa. I still live in South Africa. Like the biggest difference, like what I'm doing now for me is You know, I was going to come here all the time and do camps, but, you know, my manager, Jason House, said to me, you know what, Themba, you cannot only do camps in America, you know, you need to get better and then do your camp. If you just come here for camps, you are not going to improve, because when you come...
Wise words.
Yeah, smart.
Yeah, so basically I took his words and I'm like, okay, cool, Jason, you know, you are right. So I decided, you know what, I have to come here, train. Then like now I'm training, I'm going for 7 weeks here in America. Then I have to go back for like 10 days. Then I come back now for fight camp, you know, because I'm fighting in October, like they say. But that's how I look at it. Like for now, like I just make this sacrifice, being away from my kids, my family. It's not easy. You know, Michael Bisping, you've done this. And, you know, like when you think of it, like everything probably I'm doing, you've done it also, you know. And eventually, like, you know, you as a person, you would love to live here in America just for my families, like for my kids, for the opportunities. This country has got so many opportunities besides like just fighting. And everything is different, you know, like people want to say whatever they want to say, but if you want more opportunities, if you want more stuff, until you try to come here to America, please don't say anything, because you have not seen what's out there. And this place, it gives you more opportunities in terms of like everything in life. Like for me, I don't have to fight to be successful. I feel like it. But I will continue fighting to be successful at fighting, because I'm the person that does not give up. But whatever I choose here in this country, whatever I choose to do, I know that I can be successful, because there is opportunity. This country gives more than it takes, you know. I feel like that. And back in Africa, it's not, the opportunities are limited, and the opportunities back in Africa are limited for certain group of people. And you know, if your family is not set before you were born, and then you get to be born, you grow up, and you want to set up your life first, and then, you know, there's a thing called black tax back home, you know, where what if you make it as a black guy, you have to look after your whole family again and stuff like that. So it's hard for you to really make it when you're back home, because you have so many things to deal with, you know. For me personally, like then I have to deal with my family problems, so much drama for this. So when I'm here, it's different. I'm only tunnel vision, focusing on my career. And also like back there, you are like the biggest fish in a small pond, right? And everybody kind of like for me, how I felt is like sometimes people would not be genuinely tell you things that you need to hear. They want to tell you things that you need to hear, not what you should know. And it's a recipe for disaster. So for me, I'm here now. I know I'm held accountable most of the time here. And yeah.
What's the next fight? You said you're fighting in October. Have you got an opponent lined up?
No, so basically what we're planning to do is like, you know, I'm a person that when I'm not fighting, I can get better. And when I don't have anybody, when I'm not thinking about anybody else and thinking about just myself, I'll get better. So I'm trying to get better first. Then I'll hit up my manager and say, okay, cool, we can book a fight. And we agreed on 7 weeks, because now we deal with this number 7. We agreed on 7 weeks of me just training. Then I leave and I go back to Africa for 10 days. Then I come back and I don't care who I fight, man. I know where I will be one day. One fight at a time, obviously. And yeah, I'll probably fight October, or before that, who knows? Who knows what happens in life?
Then, but kind of last one for me. What's stopping you from bringing your family and your kids and like bringing them to Miami? What's stopping you from just? So like for me, because you seem to love America.
I want my kids to study back in South Africa. You know, like it's also nice for your kids to grow up knowing their original culture. Mm-hmm. You know, just like I do for myself. So like I look at that. But eventually, you know, I will have to bring them here. There's nothing that is stopping me right now. You know, like I have opportunities now that are presented to me. I've got sponsors that are coming to me and saying, hey, we want to help. People want to help. But nothing is stopping me except me just wanting my kids to grow up knowing our African culture. Then we can migrate and come here. But, you know, like they just have to be a little bit old enough to know exactly, so that they can remember what, you know, Africa was like, you know, because
I love that. I love that.
As a person, I like that.
it is a little more complicated as well. When you bring over your wife, you've got to get her a visa and all the rest of it. So it's not the easiest process.
Yes.
Themba, obviously, I mean, your story is so inspirational. You know, there's a lot of people out there that'll be listening to this that are stuck in a rut in life. You know what I mean? That are they're depressed. You know, and they feel like they've been dealt a shit hand in life. I mean, if anyone had it hard, you've had it hard, man. What would you say? Well, what piece of advice would you give to someone that feels that their life is lost, that they feel like they don't know what to do, they don't know where they're going, and they feel like life is falling them apart? Everyone's doing well, but I'm doing shit. I mean, what piece of advice could you say to those people?
So for me, like the thing that I looked at is that you have to be grateful first for anything that you are going through in life, whether it's good or it's bad. You know, for me, that's like I would show you. I always write down things like that is going to happen in my life and whatsoever. And I always like I wrote here, I'm like, everything that has happened to me in my life, good or bad, has led me to be successful. And I know this. So we shouldn't look at that. Like, if you are going through a rough time, it's God who's testing you, who's trying to put these things in your life so that you can have a different perspective of life. And of course, it's easier said than done. I'm human too. And, you know, like, I go through a lot myself, even to this day. People think that, okay, cool, now you're in the UFC, just won, you are meeting The Rock. Your life should be fine. No, life is not fine, because you know what? There's so many other challenges that you go through as a person. And sometimes you just have to sit back and let it play out the way it should. You know, we should just let the life play out the way it should, and it will end up being good in the end, you know, whether it's good for you or good for other people. Like, things happen for you in life, not to you. That's how I say it. Like, few things happen for you, not to you. And you should just be grateful for life as it is, one day at a time. It's easier said than done. And yeah.
That's the hard part, man. It is easier said than done. Well, look, listen, Sol's becoming the UFC champion. So we look forward, Themba, to seeing the rise, to seeing your progress. Hopefully I'll be calling more of your fights. So we thank you for your time today. Keep us posted. Michael, let us know when you're going to be fighting again, and we'll revisit this, and we'll have another chat. But thanks for your time, and than's for sharing your story, because
thank you so
I'm
much,
sure a lot of people will take inspiration
from
it.
Thank you so much. I've actually met you, Lionheart, but you don't remember.
Well, now I feel like an asshole.
At the international.
Where was it?
I met you at last year's International Fight Week. You and because Corey Sandhagen, I think, is managed by the same guy as you.
Yeah, we got the same manager.
Party after with you.
I was a big after party. I do remember that. You remember
I was
after
with
party
you
last year, International Fight Week, 2 years ago, last year.
No, last year, not 2 years ago.
Yeah, last year.
After party last year, wearing a white shirt and wearing all nice, you know.
Oh, well, thank you.
I met you. I think I have a video where I took where, you know, I was like starstruck with everybody, like I was.
Oh, that's awesome.
Themba,
thanks for coming on.
You
and sharing
don't change. Don't change. Work your fucking ass off. We look forward to the rise of Themba Gorimbo. Keep an eye on this name, because with the mindset, the things you've been through to get to what you are today, nothing is impossible. Nothing is impossible, man. So yeah, I mean it, man.
Every day that I don't change, I just keep working hard. It's hard as well. But I pray to God every single day that I want to keep working hard and I don't get distracted. I don't, you know, I just stay on this path that I've been. It has worked. Why must I change it? I just have to remain me. You know, the world will judge it the way it wants, but I have to remain Themba.
Yep, there it is. There it is. Stay on the path. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you so much, Michael. Thank you so much,
All the best, Themba.
Yep.
Take care, brother. Take care. There he is, Themba Gorimbo. I mean, he's going to push that little hang up. There it is. I mean, if people want to feel sorry for themselves, I mean, that's
I heard a little bit of his story, and it was like, you know how fucking MMA media is. They're like talking about the money in his bank account and all that other stuff. When he started talking about the diamond fields and
7 German Shepherds on him,
7 dogs on him at the same time, and like people getting killed in front of him, I was like, and then his phone froze, and I was like, no, I have to hear how this ends.
Yeah.
Holy
I mean,
shit.
Unreal. I mean, because he
He's
relates
so happy too. He's so happy.
Yeah, of course. Of course, he's living the dream right now. And I see him on Instagram because he has a couple of couches that he puts together, right? And he makes that his bed. Do you know? And he's over the moon with it. Do you know what I mean? That's what we were saying recently. There's always someone in a worse situation. We should count our blessings. And he's absolutely right. I mean, it sounds like life hasn't given him too many. But now every day is a blessing for him. He's out in America. He's fighting for the UFC. I mean, talk about preservation and determination, showing up, stalking Sean Shelby. You know what I mean? Trying to make it happen, force it into reality. I mean, unbelievable. It really is.
Yeah, that's insane. I was trying to like fix my face the whole time because of as he's talking, I was just like, holy shit, this is insane. I mean, how do you break a guy like that in a fight?
Well,
you know what I
that's
mean?
a good question. That's a good question because people don't realize in a fight, that's what you're trying to do. You're trying to mentally break them.
Yeah,
you know, it's like it goes back to
bullets whizzing by his head like he's afraid of you.
Yeah, Angela Hill versus Mackenzie Dern recently. You know what I mean? There was a girl that refused to quit, refused to be broken, you know? Right. And as you say, when you think of the hardships he's been through, I mean, we all, a lot of fighters have got a tough stories. Some are worse than others. You know what I mean? Some people that's one of the toughest. Bro.
It's one of the toughest I've ever heard. Not just fighters, just in general.
Yeah. I mean, exactly. I mean, that's just in the diamond fields. Can you imagine some of the stuff that he saw just in his day to day? Do you know what I'm saying?
In Zimbabwe, like, even before the diamond fields, and then losing both his parents and
and now even in Cape Town. I mean, Cape Town's a dangerous place, bro. It's the murder capital in the world. And I was almost murdered there. So it's a dangerous place. All right, we'll wrap this one up because you got to go and kick Glover Teixeira's ass tonight, Anthony. So we appreciate you making it happen. If you've got a question, please send it into the BYM pod at gmail.com. That is the website. the email address.
And if you're listening on iTunes, Spotify, or wherever you find podcasts, make sure you subscribe. Leave us a 5-star rating, positive review. It really helps out on those platforms. If you're watching on YouTube, make sure you subscribe to the channel and you hit that notification bell to find out whenever a new episode drops. And if you want to catch over 400 episodes you can't find anywhere else, completely ad-free and totally uncensored, head to gasdigital.com. Use the promo code BYM. Get yourself a 7-day free trial. Check out over 20 great shows on the network.
Boom.
All right. So today, our first question, we got a couple of questions today. Our first question is from Ben Fitzsimmons.
All right, boys. Quick question. Just been at the gym, listening to the podcast, so that's why I'm a bit sweaty. Conor McGregor, is he potentially going to waste all of that potential? I loved watching him. He was amazing. You step in all hours watching his fighting because I run all up to Jose Aldo, and now he's just a joke, and I can't stand the guy. So is he going to waste all that hard work, all that stuff he did at 145, and now I know he's a double champ, but he just bores the life out of me. Also, Mikey, met your dad while at the Trafford Centre doing a book signing, and he was telling us stories whilst in the queue. He was brilliant. What's the chances of Big Yan getting on the show? Anyway, love it. Cheers, fellas. Ta-ra.
Cheers, Ben. That's very nice. Very nice. And thank you for giving my dad a shout out. And he does love to hold court and have a chat. And we will get him on one of these days. He's done it before, long time ago. I'll just take the baton real quick on that. Mm-hmm. I understand what he's saying about McGregor. You know what I mean? Some people might not like the antics these days and all the rest of it. But you can't say that he's wasted his potential. You know what I mean? He might be... No, not even throwing it away is a bit strong. You can't say that he's wasted his potential. He became a double champ. He's made bucket loads of dough. He's super famous. He's got businesses all over the place. That's what we're all trying to achieve through this. I understand he's wasting his potential in terms of his fighting ability, but the fighting has got more than he ever could have offered.
Yeah, maybe his future, maybe what's left of those, maybe. But I agree with you. I also don't think that this season of The Ultimate Fighter is doing him very well. So I think I don't think so. I think people are getting annoyed by him. And I don't think that's necessarily his fault. It's a lot of editing. You know what I mean? I just don't think he's being portrayed. He looks like a great coach, but he's also making him look like a baby. Like he's kind of whining and complaining and throwing tantrums.
Well, he's a diva, isn't he? He likes to get his own way all day, every day, in every single way.
And he doesn't like it, he doesn't get it.
Yeah, no, he doesn't. He doesn't. But you can't say he's wasted his potential. Yeah, he might be. I don't know. I mean, the man can go and do whatever he wants. But still, Ben, thank you very much. Thank you for the kind words. Appreciate it. Brian, what else we got, bud?
All right, we got one more here from Carson from Scotland.
You're right, lads. Carson here from sunny Scotland. Just a quick question for you. What is the crew's favourite video games? Michael, I know you love Street Fighter, but if you have any modern ones, especially bonus points for that. Brian, I would love to know what your favourite video games are as well. Love the podcast, guys. Keep it up every week. EJ Mikey B, Scotland loves you. See you later, lads.
Absolutely. Right, that's what I'm talking about. Right, Annie, video games. Never really talked about this. Do you like video games? What's your favourite?
I'm a bit of a gamer, a little bit.
Oh, you are?
Yeah, a little bit of Xbox.
What do you play?
I play a lot of Halo.
Right.
Play a lot of Halo. I haven't played real recently, but I got a little group of friends. We get online, get our fucking nerd headsets on, and chit chat with each other. I'm serious. It's a bunch of dads.
Oh God!
Honestly, we play video games, and we all live within like a block of each other.
Yeah. No, I mean, video games are awesome. I mean, I used to play them a lot, but not so much these days. They're too hard for me. They're so complicated. Like Lucas plays these games, and like there's more. Like he's, I don't know what the games are. He's walking through, and he brings up like his tool belt or whatever, and he's going to get this, and he's going to get this, and he's going to put it with that, and he's going to like do some potions just to be able to eat, and so there's like grids galore, and I'm like, just walk and shoot and like punch. Do you know what I mean? I mean, I'm sounding like a boomer and I'm doing it on purpose, but like they are complicated. And even when I used to play Call of Duty or whatever, if I go online, I get slotted in the head straight away. I've got 12-year-olds talking shit.
Yeah, I'm not great at Call of Duty either. No, I'm not that good.
The old school ones.
Yeah,
Street Fighter 2, though, I will maintain. I will whoop some ass on that game. Talking of gamers, Callum is he loves Smash Bros. So he does his own little tournaments. He does his own. Do you ever play Super Smash Bros, Anthony?
No, never.
Yeah, so he's placed it in a few big tournaments. So he puts his own events on. You know, his little entrepreneurial thing. What did he call it? Active something on, whatever they call it. But yeah, he puts his own little shows on. So
that's awesome.
We're going to get together. We'll do a little version of our own. And that's it. Listen, that's the show. Themba Gorimbo, thank you very much for joining us.
Incredible.
Anthony, tonight, all the best to you, man. I'll be watching. Where do people... Well, by the time this comes on, I'm going to say, where do people watch it? It'll be done. It'll be over.
Well, you can go back and rewatch it if you missed it on UFC Fight Pass. You can search UFC Fight Pass Invitational 4. So if you missed it,
there it is.
It's already over with. I've already beaten Glover. And you can go back and watch it.
Brilliant. Well, listen, all the best. Good luck. Thanks for watching, everyone. We'll be back on Monday with another show.